Heat and about to be eliminated, on the verge of being eliminated from the playoffs, and we will discuss that and the other things as far as the Bulls lost last night to the 76ers. They're down, but we will talk about the what's going on with the Mets. I heard the Mets lost again. I think
They lost 4 straight.
the Mets lost 4 straight, so they're going the way we anticipated. They had a good April, and I think that's going to be their best month of the year. And Mariano is a big story. Mariano Rivera going down, shagging fly balls. I mean, I think it's a little bit extra for a guy that age to be out there running into a wall, and they've got that all on videotape. So that's a big concern for us. We're not Yankee fans, but we are New York fans, and we are on top of everything. We are very upset that Mariano Rivera, the greatest closer in Yankee history, to be out there shagging fly balls.
He's probably the greatest closer in baseball history.
Yeah, greatest closer, in baseball history, absolutely. He's the number 1 closer in baseball history. He has dominated for like the last 16, 17 years, ever how long he's been pitching, closing for the Yankees. And he's a staple first ballot Hall of Famer. And my brother took a picture with him down in Florida. He did some kind of fundraising kind of thing, or at a church down in Florida, and my brother went to pick him up at the airport. And they got to talk and everything. They took a picture together. So, yeah, shout out to Mariano Rivera. But, yeah, we're going right in. We don't have that much time, but we're going to go right in. We've got the Kentucky Derby. What's the 108th, 38th?
138th Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, and we've got Dan the Man, 108th. So we've been hearing about all these horses. We've been hearing about Union Rags. We've been hearing about Bodemeister. You've been talking about Bodemeister and Union Rags, and then you have Gemologist. So give us the blow by blow before you give us your handicapping, and before you handicap the race for us. Just give us the blow by blow. It's like as far as like where are these horses coming from, and where are these horses going?
Well, right now it's a consensus out here in Staten Island of, a lot of people like Union Rags. What's weird about this Kentucky Derby, this is probably going to be the only Kentucky Derby, and you won't see this for many years to come. 9 horses that came out of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile last year in November are all in the Kentucky Derby. That's amazing. They had a field of 13 last year. Hanson won that race wire to wire. Union Rags comes out that race also. Take Charge Indy, Doulahan, Creative Cause. I mean, so many perspectives. So many horses came out of that Breeders' Cup, so they in the Derby. So this year, there's been a lot of speculation of who's the top Derby horse. And right now, we call it a crapshoot because all these horses have won big races coming from the Breeders' Cup. So many of them, like Hanson. Hanson came out of the Breeders' Cup. He won the Gotham Aqueduct. Union Rags won the Fountain of Youth in Florida. Creative Cause won a big stakes race in California. Take Charge Indy, he won the Florida Derby. And, these are the top horses coming into the race. Then you have another horse in here called I Have Another. He won the Santa Anita Derby, but he didn't run in the Breeders' Cup. But this horse is 2 for 2 this year. So we have so many good horses in this field. The reason why a lot of people picking Union Rags is because of what he did in the Fountain of Youth Stakes. Plus, he raced very well last year at in New York. Coming in from Saratoga, he won by 7 lengths in the Saratoga Special. Then he won by 5 lengths at Belmont. So a lot of New York players love this horse, Union Rag.
I've been hearing a lot on the wire. I've been doing a lot of tutoring and getting as much information as I can because I know I'm not really a horse. I mean, I learn a lot of my horse racing stuff from you and our conversations and stuff like that and doing stuff, But this week I took it upon myself to just do some little research. A lot of people are talking about gemologist. So, I mean, he's 5-0.
Yeah, he's 5 for 5.
He's 5-0, and
he's 2 for 2 at Churchill Downs. That's what a lot.
And
of
so this is like a home field advantage for this horse,
horse.
for gemologist.
Right.
So we've got Union Rags. There's a possible winner, and I guess it's a Staten Island favorite.
Yeah, it's definitely a Staten Island favorite. You go anywhere, and they say, "Who you gonna win the Derby?" He said, "Union Rags."
And gemologist is somebody that I've been hearing a lot about, who's the hometown favorite, who's won. He's 2 for 2 in Churchill Downs.
And he won the Wood Memorial at Aqueduct, so you have New York players that like this horse too.
Now you have Bodemeister, which was this horse that you talked a lot about over the course of the show, because we get reports from you every week as far as various horses, and that seemed to be a horse that you talked about. What's Bodemeister's odds today?
Well, I have the latest odds. Bodemeister is 8-1. All these horses is going to be long shots, basically.
All of them are going to be long shots?
Yeah, because the favorite right now...
It's 9-2.
No, the favorite is 6-1. That's Union Rags.
Oh, Union Rags is 6-1. Okay.
6-1.
Oh, Union Rags is 6-1. Okay.
Yeah,
So everything is like, there's no 2-1 shot or nothing like that. Is that unusual for the Derby, or that's something that's always... There's never like a 2-1 shot at the Derby, or is this something that's always?
This Derby may be unusual. You might have the favorite go off 6-1 or maybe 8-1. It's like
wow.
It's like 11 horses where you can say that this horse right here could win the Derby. So it's like about anybody's Derby right now.
Now, in comparison to other fields from past years, is this a significant field of horses? Like an all-star Hall of Fame type of field here?
Yes, it is. This is the deepest Kentucky Derby I have ever seen. I've never seen so many good horses in one field. All these horses won big races.
No doubt. So you heard it first here. This is a deep. You heard the word deep. This is a deep field of horses. So pay attention. So what time does the Kentucky Derby start?
Well, I have here post time at 6:24 Eastern time. Mary
J. Blige is supposed to be performing as well. It's supposed to be doing the national anthem. I heard about 5 o'clock.
Yes.
Yeah. So the actual race starts about an hour later. What'd you say? 6:15.
6:24.
6:24.
Might be around 6:30.
6:24. 6:30.
Yeah.
So yes, Kentucky Derby. 6:30, I believe it's on NBC. We've got a deep field of horses. I've been hearing also a lot about Alpha. Now, and you were elaborating also about the background of the company that backs them, and so just give us some information about the company that backs them.
Oh, okay.
Godolphin Enterprises.
Right.
And their pedigree.
Right. For those,
because a lot of folks don't know.
For those out there that's going to bet this Kentucky Derby, I'm going to put this in your heads. I'm picking this horse to win. He's owned by the Godolphin Stables. Google Godolphin Stables. They're the #1 racing outfit in the world. They have one all over the place. They have one in Australia, Japan, Germany, Italy, England. I mean, their horses... They go on and on. They're owned by Sheikh Mohammed and another Sheikh Maktoum. Usually, they will bring a horse into the Kentucky Derby by running 2 races in Dubai and shipping to the Kentucky Derby. What they finally did since their inception in 1992 of trying to run horses in the Kentucky Derby, they gave it to the trainer Alpha, Karen McLaughlin, had this horse run in Saratoga, Aqueduct, Belmont, to have the races run here in America to get ready for the Kentucky Derby. This horse is bred, most of the Godolphin Stables horses are bred to run 2 miles. So this horse could get the distance. Not only that, He's been training pretty well. He has some setbacks in his training, but he breezed at Belmont Park. I think it was 5 furlongs in like 59 and 2/5 seconds. That's a sharp workout. In the last race, he came second in the Wood Memorial. 2 horses pinned him down on the rail. The horse had to like get back a little bit, move to the outside. He challenged Gemologist in the stretch, and he lost the race by a neck. But it was a game performance. He has a shot to improve off the race. And as I told Mike, I'm reading the racing form right now. There's a lot of good horses that cannot get the distance. They're not really bred to go 1.25 miles. And Alpha is bred to go 1.25 miles.
Yeah, that's what everybody's talking about. That's what I was reading. He did an impressive race at the Wood Memorial and lost by a neck.
Lost by a neck.
And lost by a neck. And we cannot mention Kentucky Derby without mentioning the jockey, Calvin Burrell, who's won 3 out of his last 5. And what horse is he?
He's on Take Charge Indy. If you don't know who Calvin Burrell is, watch the videos of.
Yeah, just Google Calvin Burrell, and Burrell spelled Borel.
He uses Durrell. He saves ground, and when he wins the race, he's full of himself. He's celebrating. He's jumping up and down. He's yelling and screaming. I mean, we as fans, we love it, but the jockeys, they don't like it. But he knows Churchill Downs. He's raced here for a long time. And look for Take Charge Indy to go somewhere near the lead. A lot of people think Bodemeister or Hansen will be on the front. But Take Charge Indy somewhere is going to be right on the rail saving ground because he's breaking from post position 3. And Borel he's kamikaze. He don't care about the other jockeys. He don't care about the shape of the racetrack, if it's muddy, wet, or dry. He's going for it.
Yeah, Calvin Burrell, he is a fighter. You can tell. I mean, like I said, he's won 3 out of his last 5 Kentucky Derbies. This guy is a warrior. He's a warrior on the track, and you could just tell by his demeanor. I mean, when he gets up on that horse, it's a whole different story with him. But yeah, now handicap the race for us. What's going to be the final outcome? I mean, you've given us a good picks in the past. I mean, you've given us winners. You've given us horses in the money. So you're my dude. You know what I'm saying? As far as this horse racing thing, you know how to pick them. So he's about to give us our picks. Get a pen and paper. Let's go.
Okay. My top horse, like I said, is Alpha.
Alpha.
I got to go with the Godolphin stable. They doing everything right. The only problem is the horse finished second to Gemologist, but reading the racing form, Gemologist could barely get this distance. He's 5 for 5 at Churchill, yes, but he could barely get the distance. So that's my number 1 horse.
The 11 horse.
And right now, believe it or not, he's 22 to 1.
22 to 1.
22 to 1.
22 to 1. Who you have coming in second?
Second, I have Crazy Borel from the rail.
You have
somehow
Take Charge Indy. You have okay.
Yeah, because you know what, Alpha comes off the pace, but I think Borel is going to be laying third on the rail.
Take Charge Indy. That's the 3 horse. So you have the 11 to win, 3 to place.
Yep.
3 to place, and
he's currently 7.
Who's coming in third?
He's 7 to 1 right now.
And he's 7. We'll Take Charge Indy 7 to 1. So a lot of people are betting him. And who's coming in third?
My third horse is a horse that is 2 for 2 in California. I'll have another.
I'll have another.
I'll have another.
I'll have another.
Yeah, he's right now.
I never heard you talk about this horse. You're talking about a couple of horses that's the 19 horse.
Yes.
And he's coming in at, 12? Well, you have different odds there. I have the morning line here.
17 to 1.
17 to 1. That looks like a pretty good trifecta if you could win it.
Well,
if you could win that trifecta, you're going to come up with some change.
This horse right here, the reason why I like this horse, he shows a lot of guts and he had a lot of guts in the last race, the Santa Anita Derby. He beat Creative Cause, who's also in the Derby. This horse right here, a lot of people think this horse is going to bounce because, you know, the way he won the race. And plus the jockey is a new jockey, young jockey, Mario Gutierrez. This jockey's come out of nowhere. And what's interesting, the trainer keeps the jockey. So this has turned a lot of people off because you come into the race, you get one of the top jockeys. You don't get a regular jockey that wins claiming races and, you know, your regular first and second daily double race. And you need a smart jockey. But you know what? Sometimes first time in a Kentucky Derby, nothing on the line, underdog, he may do it. He has his chance to win, so I'm picking him third. Now, the horse I'm picking for
11-3-19. That's so far the win, place, and show.
Now, the horse I'm picking for fourth for the super.
For the superfector.
Now, I know everybody's going to ask me, why are you not picking Bodemeister? Why are you not picking... It's just a tough Derby, and I'm just digging deep here, finding horses. The horse I like to come in fourth is Rousing Sermon.
The 7 horse.
The 7 horse. And Rousing Sermon right now is 18-1.
18-1.
He should be 50-1, but I think a lot of it has to do with the jockey, Jose Lescano. He came second in the Kentucky Derby back in 2010 with Icebox. Icebox was dead last in the Kentucky Derby field, coming around, going for home. He closed that horse and wound up finishing second. He's a very aggressive rider. And this horse is a plouter. This horse is going to be somewhere in the back of the pack. He's going to be picking up horses somewhere in the stretch. He may just do it and get in the money. So I'm picking him. Now they have a new bet. It's called the High Five. So I'm going to add an extra horse in here. So
you got a high five? You can pick the top 5 horses?
Top 5 horses.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, who knows? It might pay a couple millions of dollars with a 20 horse field. But the horse that I'm picking fifth, picking Bodemeister.
Bodemeister to come in 5th.
Yeah, you know, reason why is this horse right here, he has a front runner style. He's the fastest horse in the race on buyers. But the problem I have with this horse, he did not race at 2. He doesn't have like a foundation. There hasn't been a horse that won the Kentucky Derby that didn't race at 2 in 130
As a
years.
2-year-old, yeah. Yeah, that's the whole knock on Bodemeister. He didn't race as a 2-year-old, no doubt.
There's another knock on this horse. I don't like the way Bob Baffert took the blinkers off this horse last time to win the race. You do not mess with horses' equipment and the final prep race coming into the Kentucky Derby. That's something that you do earlier, but I guess because the horse didn't race at 2, Baffert was trying to get this horse, I guess, to come from off the pace, but you can't be experiment with horses this late. But he has enough talent to probably finish in the money or even finish out the money, so to come in.
So to sum it up, we've got Alpha to win.
Right.
Take Charge Indy to come in 2nd.
Yes, that's 11-3.
I'll have another.
Yeah.
To come in 3rd.
Right.
What was the 4th?
The 7 horse Rousing Sermon.
Rousing Sermon to come in 4th. And then you have the 6 horse Bodemeister to come in 5th.
And Bodemeister is 8-1.
And Bodemeister's 8-1.
He's not a favorite.
That's our picks. That's the official picks of the Kentucky Derby starting at 6:30 tonight. I mean, the television coverage starts at 5 o'clock and with Mary J. Blige singing the national anthem. And we made our official picks. Let's say them again.
It's Alpha.
The 11.
Take Charge Indy, the 3.
Right.
The 3rd horse is I'll Have Another, number 19. The 4th, Rousing Sermon, the number 7 horse. And 5th, Bodemeister, the number 6 horse.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. That's the official picks of Hardcore Sports with our resident. Place your bets. Place your bets. Step right up. Place your bets. Kentucky Derby. We're going to move right along now to the NBA playoffs. This last segment, we're going to talk about the NBA playoffs. It hasn't been good for the New York Knicks. Has not been good for the New York Knicks. We've got Amari Stoudemire that's out. We've got Iman Shumpert out. Amari Stoudemire hurt his hand doing some nonsense. We're disappointed. As Knicks fans, we're disappointed. But we knew coming in to this season, at least they saved face and made the playoffs this year. But there was a lot of ups and downs. It started out with the lockout. Then there was a lot of ups and downs between Mike D and Tony, a lot of turbulence. The Knicks were able to at least get something together and win the 18 of their last 24 games, which is, I guess, good. But they faced the strongest team in the East, in the Miami Heat right now. Miami Heat are the strongest team in the East. The only team I think that could possibly even shake them up a little bit is maybe Boston. Boston seems to have their number, and they're scared of Boston. And so I think Miami meets Boston, Boston could probably upset them. So I think Boston and Miami right now are the strongest teams in the East, hands down. Noah was hurt last night. He got hit in the nose. No, that was Al Harrington. Noah sprained his ankle last night in the game against Philly, so Philly is up. The Bulls could be eliminated in the first round. Also, they're down 2-1. The Indiana-Orlando series, that could go either way.
Yeah.
That could go either way. And then you have the...
you had Denver.
You have Denver and the Lakers. Denver won last night, but the Lakers are still up in that series. I still pick the Lakers to win. I think in the West, as far coming down to now, we're almost entering the second round. It could be Boston or Miami in the East. In the West, it could be the Thunder, the Lakers,
or the Spurs.
The Spurs, or the Spurs. I think could win out West. Do you have any other team that could possibly win it? I really like the Thunder. I really like the Thunder's chances because they were right there at the precipice last year. Dallas was the only thing that got them in the way of them last year.
I agree.
So, and even though the Spurs have come on strong, and you might have a Western Conference final with those two, the Thunder versus the Spurs in the Western Conference final. And also I give an outside chance to Memphis. If Memphis could somehow get it together, get their chemistry together, and get something going, those are my top teams. I think in the West, what I said, the Spurs, the Thunder, and the Lakers, I think they're the top. And then there's an outside chance Memphis could be there too. But we'll see. Yeah, the Oklahoma City Thunder just like on the precipice. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook. You've got basically a top three in Oklahoma City, with what's going on in Oklahoma City. And who knew? Who knew that when the Seattle Supersonics moved to Oklahoma City, that see, a lot of times a franchise moves from one city to another, and people think that franchise is going to be finished. And what happened was the opposite happened. Once the Oklahoma City Thunder landed in OKC, they have flourished. They got a lot of draft picks. They were able to pick up a lot of players in the draft, pick up some veterans here and there. They've got a good team. They've got Fisher. You've got Fisher, a veteran point guard, from the Lakers, now playing with the Thunder. So it's going to be very interesting to see what goes down. I'm very sorry as a Knicks fan, but hopefully the Knicks. I'm confident though. I'm going to save my. I'm going to sit back and watch what the front office for the Knicks does. Grunwald was appointed this week. The interim tag is off, so now he's the general manager of the Knicks. I also was thinking just now, Tyson Chandler, want to shout out to him for winning the Defensive Player of the Year award. So shout out to him. He got his award at the beginning of Game 3. And also Ryan Anderson got Most Improved Player. They announced that last night as well. Ryan Anderson, shout out to him, Most Improved Player in the NBA. But I'm confident that Grunwald, because of what he's done, he was able to get J.R. Smith. He's aggressive. I like a general manager that's aggressive. He's aggressive, and he's gonna get the players that the Knicks need. He was able to take the chance and bring Tyson Chandler, and that was a good move. Amnestying Billups and getting Tyson Chandler to play here definitely brought in instant rewards. So shout out for him for doing that. And then reaching out to J.R. Smith. He had to reach out to J.R. Smith in China. While J.R. Smith was in China, reach out to him and have him come join the squad. So the Knicks are going to obviously lose some players from this season.
A lot.
And they're going to gain some players probably this season. And I just want to, I'll keep my, I'm not going to put my GM hat on. I'm going to let Grunwald do his thing because I believe that he really knows what he's doing, basically, versus what we had in the past, Donnie Walsh. I don't know what the heck he was doing. I knew what he was doing. He was getting us under the cap. He was just a part of the Isaiah Thomas getting under the cap stuff. But the Knicks are under the cap, and now we have to look for some help for Carmelo Anthony and crew.
They need a point guard.
So, yeah, they definitely need a point guard. Hopefully, Raymond Felton or Aaron Brooks.
How about Jennings? He's a free agent.
Or Jennings. We'll take either one of those. So, yeah, the Knicks play tomorrow, Game 4. I'm praying that they don't get swept. At least win a game, please, for us. And so, yeah, we've run out of time. Shout out to Dan the Man for handicapping. Place your bets at 6:30. Kentucky Derby time.
Before 6:30.
Before 6:30. Kentucky Derby starts at 6:30. Peace. 1.
I'd like to thank you all for coming. My name is Robert Anasherico. I'm the pharmacist and owner of Delco Drugs and Specialty Pharmacy. This store has been servicing this neighborhood for over 45 years. I'd like to thank and introduce Attorney General Schneiderman, District Attorney Donovan, Senator Andrew Lanza, and Assemblyman Mike Cusick, and Dr. David Kim, and thank them for coming out to support this proposal. We all know that prescription drug abuse has reached critical levels here on Staten Island. Pharmacists are on the front lines of this abuse, and quite often myself and other pharmacists are sending patients away that desperately need their medications due to fears that we have. Attorney General Schneiderman's iStop proposal will give us the tools that we need to identify forged prescriptions, stolen prescriptions, and doctor shoppers. It will enable us to spot other abuses, and it will give us real-time information about controlled substance prescriptions that will help us be part of the solution and keep our community safer. And will also make sure that patients who really need their medications can get them. So I applaud them on this, and I thank them, and I thank you all for coming out to support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert, and thank you for hosting us here today at Delco Drugs. An example of the thousands and thousands of responsible professionals in the healthcare field who have been working with us towards passing the iStop legislation and making sure that New York has the best system that is available in the United States for tracking prescription drugs and putting an end to the wave of prescription drug abuse that is sweeping our state. This epidemic, and it has been classified as an epidemic by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, affects every sector of society. It strains our law enforcement system, it strains our healthcare system, it costs tens of millions of dollars a year to the state treasury, to the federal government in terms of Medicare and Medicaid costs, and it's killing people. It's killing people. I was at a press conference in Buffalo earlier this week with parents who were holding up pictures of their children who had died from overdoses of prescription drugs. This is a problem that is all the more serious because we know we can do something about it. About a year ago, at a conference I attended in Washington, I learned that a lot of other states had much more sophisticated systems for tracking prescription drugs, for controlling the flow of prescription drugs, and determined that we should take the best ideas, combine them, and make sure that New York has the best system available. The statistics are staggering. In America, we have 4% of the world's population. We consume 99%